this one's not scripted, but I got a good idea of what we're talking about. Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about what I like to call the synthetic evolution of man. Okay, let's start out really recent, okay? A lot of old people, they complain that children have all the knowledge in the world in their phone, like the one I'm recording on, and I like to think that that's a good thing. Because for one thing, they have all the knowledge right in their hands and they can get it whenever the hell they want. Back in those days, and I think I was around for the end of that, you had to actually get a book that had all human knowledge on it in your language. You had to go to the one with the letter of all the things that you wanted. You had to open it up. Then you had to look through everything. And if it wasn't in there, then that shit just simply didn't exist. Nowadays, you can Google it, and friggin' Wikipedia is right there. There's even more websites going down. If you ask the right questions, you'll get your answer. The only reason you don't find something on Google is because you said it wrong. And you might be thinking, well, that makes kids weaker. They don't have to work for things nowadays. And I'd like to tell you, isn't that the point? Is anybody complaining, oh, back in my day, I used to ride horses everywhere, and if we didn't have horses, we had to fucking walk. Okay, wait. That's a whole different topic. But aside from me getting frustrated about that, synthetic evolution. The minute we had this, children have all the knowledge in there that they'll ever need, probably ever will receive. And that just makes up for our lack of, experience. Because for a lion, right? If a lion wants to learn how to hunt an antelope, he either has to hunt an antelope, fucking trial and error over and over until he's dead. But if a child wants to learn how to build a shelf, he just has to look it up. He might not even need to, because there's instructions nowadays. But yeah, and okay, now let's go for the other one I was talking about earlier, cars. The only reason we made cars was to make up for our lack of natural speed. We have endurance because we sweat. And that made hunting things way easier back in the day. But the reason we made cars is because not everybody had a horse and not everybody felt like they should run far enough to get their food. And that's just to make up for our natural lack of speed and endurance. And then before that, we made spears and knives and axes out of rocks to make up for our natural lack of strength and, natural weaponry. This shit doesn't work very well, and neither does this. But if you had a knife, you had just as much of a chance of ripping in the flesh as the lion did with his teeth. We made planes, and we made boats of our natural lack of not being able to swim. We made boats for our natural lack of not being able to swim very far, because no one man can swim across the Pacific Ocean to get from California to China. I'd love to see it done, but that's not gonna happen anytime soon, and that's why we have boats. You're probably saying, well, Goji, why don't you swim across the other ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, to get from Maine to Ireland? And to that I say, fuck you. And you know what? After we made knives and we made houses, we really had nothing to do after that. So what did we create next? We created dragons, we created ghouls, we created monsters, we created ghosts and crap. Because after we passed a certain threshold, there was really nothing else to do. We had no meaning life. Archaeologists like to think that, they found the fossils and we just tried to make sense of it. And I'd like to think that not only that, but we also just had nothing else dangerous anymore. Could you imagine? You just killed something with your knife that back in the day your ancestor probably would have gotten one-shotted by. You probably would have gotten eaten alive by the thing. But you just walked up to it, slashed its brain out, and it's gone. Nothing's challenging anymore. And what did we do the moment we found fossils? We went, oh shit, this thing could breathe fire, it could eat a bull in one go, and it's fucking huge. Oh wait, it flies. Like, unless you're a psychopath, the one reason you would come up with something like that is because you already got to the point where everything is easy and you just need another challenge. Like, the first person to ever find a fossil was like, oh my god, I have meaning. That's probably the only reason why it does all that. Because they weren't struggling. The medieval guy probably wasn't like, oh, it wouldn't surprise me if this thing fucking breathed fire and flew. No. Because the humans, we like to be optimistic when the chips are down. They're like, those teeth aren't that sharp. So that's why I believe that the reason why we created dragons was because we just had it too easy. And that's a synthetic crutch, because that kept fear alive, and we needed fear to live through the hard days. And we created farms. Even before the dragon, we created farms for our natural lack of not being able to do shit. Because yes, we were hunter-gatherers, but we didn't have the ability to just create food like we wanted. We had to rely on plants. And we looked at plants like, hey, wait, they make their own food, why don't we do that? Synthetic evolution. We created farms by imprisoning and horribly mutating plants. And you know what, even before that, we created clothing, because back in those days, we didn't have fur. All we had was this thin strip of flesh. We didn't, like, once we got rid of, you know, our fur and our really long hair, when we started to have, like, less and less flesh going up the arm, we created clothing to make up for our natural lack of insulation and heat resistance and crap like that. We stole everything from the animals and all that crap. It's not environmentalist, I'm just saying. We got jealous of cheetahs, so we made cars. We were jealous of lions, so we made knives. We were jealous of dolphins and every other animal that knows what to do right off the bat by creating computers. We were jealous of everything being scared of us, so we made something bigger and scarier to be scared of. And we got scared of everything. We got jealous of everything having purpose, so we created deities. We got jealous of birds building nests, so we built houses. That's like everything that the human race did, aside from learning how to walk upright, we stole from every other animal on the planet. And I call that synthetic evolution. And I'd like to believe in that more than that we just got super lucky. Like, no, we tend to copy other animals. Like, comment something that you think is synthetic evolution. I know you're not gonna, but I feel like I should tell you. Okay, bye.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.